in my understanding of geopolitics, um, the military protects the border, the entrance into the public's jurisdiction, and badge or the uniform protects the border jurisdiction. The sea, even the heat under there. it's The whole thing is covered by a uniform, and that uniform operates as one unit, whose sole purpose is to protect the border, even the what I'll call the filament border, which is the idea of a border that protects us, which is in our case in the United States, the right to believe in a God. uh, Part of that is the right to believe or not to believe in a God. The job of the badge is to protect what's inside the border, everything that's inside the border. I can't say which is more difficult, but that do seem like pretty simple jobs. It's just the badge protect what's inside the border, the uniform protect what's outside the border. I don't think they're difficult things to do. But I'm gonna let old weather girl tell you a story about why we be running around bragging today about being a uniform or a badge. I don't have anything. I don't have anything to do today other than be tortured to death. So enjoy. I'm sure that's at some point someone taught the badge and the uniform. That's something to be proud of. Check your seas and rivers for dead bodies.
I think when you look at the devastation of this, it's going to be weeks upon months to be able to recover. It's a long journey ahead for the people that live here.
Yeah, this morning, at least one person is dead after severe weather in Louisville, Kentucky. The storm left behind destruction at the Oaks at St. Andrews Apartments in South Louisville. Damaging winds tore the roof off of one apartment building. Taylor Hughes and his son say they got out safely, but then they went back inside to help an injured neighbor.
I got a lot of blips, bitch. It's a lot of blips.
And we worked him on getting him out. The fire department helped us get him out, and he fell downstairs.
The American Red Cross.
Y'all want a blippy book? Y'all want a blippy book?
Wind and Health Department residents who lost their homes. They set up a shelter for around 50 residents of this apartment complex left without a place to live.
New this morning, a family disturbance led one man facing charges after Corinth police say they found him with drugs. Police responded to Walnut Drive after hearing about a disturbance. They arrested this man, Clay Sharp. Police say they found him with a pill bottle that had a crystal-like substance in it. He faces 2 misdemeanor charges, domestic violence and family disturbance, a felony charge of possession of a controlled substance as well.
Right now, there is a search going on for a man wanted for a shooting in Noxubee County. There are agencies joining law enforcement there to help them find this person. WTVA's Avery Hilliard is live in Noxubee County to tell us more about this shooting. Avery, what do you have for us?
Look, bitch, you can call it mad, but you are feeding me this fucking material. All you have to do is wake up a fucking faggot and let me be Zori and the material.
Good morning, Daniela and Brunson. I am live just outside of the Noxubee County's courthouse. Now, the Noxubee County Sheriff's Department is searching for DeAndre LaShawn Smith. Now, take a look at your screen as you can see the image of Smith. He is wanted for a shooting that happened March 21st. The shooting happened in the Pinewood area. Jude Mosley and 2 other juveniles were inside the car. There was a single shot through the boot.
I don't know this child name. It's a bunch of blips. I like to tell you, it's a bunch of blips. But what matters is who paid for this shit. Who bought this bullshit? But sell some more. Sell some more. Get more buyers. Convict more innocent citizens for straddling bullshit and see if I can't find that motherfucking ass. Let's see if I can find them. Not you, not the government, not the security. Let's see if Zora can find the bitch who buying this shit.
D. Smith, he is considered armed and dangerous. Please call the Noxubee County Sheriff's Department at 662-726-5332 or Crime Stoppers. The Sheriff's Office has U.S. Marshal Services to help get Smith off the street. Now, this morning I am working to speak with one of the sheriffs from the department on any updates from the case. Live in Noxubee County, Avery Hilliard, WCBA. Nice.
I know what the test is. I know what I'm looking for in the record. Me, I'm not looking for test results. I'm looking for the hand operating the test. And I explained to you last evening what I plan to do with that motherfucker.
News. Thank you so much, Avery. New this morning, we have new reports of those that hit North Mississippi over the weekend. We'll tell you where it hit and just how many the Mid-South saw during this outbreak coming up. Plus,
20 years of being a mom. My children's memories of me raising them, they can never be replaced.
This morning, she lost everything after a tornado swept through Arkansas, including family pictures that are irreplaceable. But someone miles away managed to get one of them back.
If your right hand offends you, cut it off. If your left hand offends you, cut it off. Because you might fuck around and run into why, and your head offend her, and she might cut it off.
Back to her.
and as her
Because that it will take a long time to recover from these damages.
New this morning, at least 478 tornado reports have been recorded so far this year in the U.S., a number over twice what the early April average typically is. Reports are typically submitted by residents or law enforcement officers. At least 60 people have died to tornadoes or tornado-related damage this year, many of which have been here in Mississippi. The number is expected to continue to climb as the year progresses.
I call this shit a sin and abomination. I know the Bible called other things, sins and abomination. But Zora said his religious beliefs said that what you are actively engaged in is a sin, abomination, and blasphemy. Go ahead, you do that.
On average, about 71 people lose their
Not one boy sticking his penis in another boy's asshole. No, that's not a sin, no abomination. Not over here in my house. My religious belief is what you are actively engaged in at this very moment is a sin and abomination. The fact that you're going to get a paycheck for genocide is a sin, abomination, and stank. Boys who stick their penises in other boys that they can't wear dresses and then have genocide.
New this morning, lawmakers.
My children's memories of me raising them, they can never be replaced.
The tornado took her memories and scattered them across wind, but one traveled over 150 miles to Bradford, Tennessee, to the home of John Ellis, who showed the picture to his wife.
She was the one that was like, wow, we need to post this on.
You use your power to run around the world and tell the boys to not stick their penises in one another and not to put on dresses. You spend your time and your energy doing that. And don't forget to pick up your genocide check. It'll be there Friday.
On Facebook and see if anybody knows her or see if somebody lost this, they might want it back.
The couple posted the picture, and on the same day, the post made it to the family. Now, a priceless memory is coming back.
I can't thank them enough. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky to have people around us to care enough to do that, to go the extra mile.
Melissa was grateful to the couple for their act and had a message for them.
People around here that know her could identify it and reach out to her as well and let her know that her picture has been found through all this devastation, through all the loss that we've all had. Thank you. God bless.
Ruby Mae Edwards, every Monday night, she got up there, went up there to that church and said, she's a miracle walking on earth. Every Monday night, she did that. She said that you cannot please God with Caesar 10%. Go get that 10% to Caesar. Now, you can bring 10% over here to God, but that ain't what God is expecting from you as just reasonable. I mean, he wants you to be happy, but at least 10% of your life should reasonably be you trying to keep the sun and the damn moon from bumping into your ass. Reasonably is what Sister Ruby Mae Edwards said. So what she did was she went up to the church once a week and told everybody, oh yeah, I'm a miracle walking on earth. You know why? Because she knew that shit. And she knew she'd lived 90-some years with a bunch of other people who didn't give a fuck.
In Pontotoc County, there's now a number you can call to get some help. You can call the number you see right here, 662-489-3946. They say they'll take your name and your address. The Pontotoc County EMA says it has several volunteer groups looking to help with whatever they can. Now, keep in mind, this is specifically for cleanup around yards, not for debris removal.
I forgot to hold my other. You got to hold the two of them at the same time. Gravity gonna talk when you do that. I forgot to hold both of them. So I might have been lying. I don't know. Check your facts.
This morning, a Mississippi deputy who was supposed to enforce the law is now facing charges for breaking it.
You won't believe what the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation says he did.
At Kroger, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we do up to a 27-point inspection to check for things like color and scarring. Because when it comes to fresh, higher standards for produce, Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Writer in Oregon got stomped on by a 1,000-pound bull. She may not walk again, but she would be alive through the spinal surgery.
BP is dropping. Every second counts here, people. This is my OR. Welcome to Mills Home Center of Pontotoc, Mississippi, where Chad Mills has the deals and home of the lifetime warranty. Come view our newest homes. Let our team help you get the home of your dreams. We can walk you through each step with easy financing options. See us first or see us, but make sure you come and see us. And remember, Chad Mills has a deal.
Big accidents, big bills, big headaches. Bigger doesn't always mean better. I'm Attorney Richard Schwartz. After you've been in a serious accident,
I didn't mean to make no excuses for faggots who didn't go up there at least 1 week and hear what she was going up there a week for. I mean, she's a nice old lady, had kids and everything, grew up with everybody. I know everybody think she was fucking crazy because she said she was her. But I also know I was probably one or two people that was up there with her.
size of your law firm doesn't matter. People do. Results do. The way you're treated, that's what really matters. Team Schwartz knows what it takes to win for you, and we'll always put your needs first. Call the name you know. Team Schwartz. One call, that's all.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call. You're not going to get it.
For some reason, to her, y'all didn't look like dumb people. Y'all just look like people. I'm not Ruben May Edwards.
Mississippi Department of Corrections for promoting prostitution. He's there on the left. And Ezekiel Eli, here on the right, will serve 20 years in MDOC on one count of child exploitation. Eli will have to register as a sex offender once he's released from prison. Eli's arrest was the result of the Operation Bad Santa. That's a multi-jurisdictional undercover investigation. The Attorney General's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force led it.
Happy now, a reserve deputy with the Jones County Sheriff's Department is facing charges this morning. This in connection to a recent shooting. The shooting happened on April 2nd. The NBI arrested Ryan Walters, a reserve deputy with the Jones County Sheriff's Department, for his alleged involvement in a fatal shooting at the Rock Pentecostal Church in Louisville. Walters is charged with second-degree murder. Simpson County District Attorney Chris Hennis, we're told, will oversee the case's prosecution. NBI is currently still investigating this case.
A man is facing charges out of Oxford after police say he was involved in a domestic disturbance. Officers responded to Private Road for a reported domestic disturbance on Monday. They say Jamari Poole, Sr., arrested on an aggravated domestic.
And Ruben May Edwards put the mic in my hand for a reason. But you sell the property to Nardi.
Violence charge. Fayette County Justice Court judge set his bond at $10,000. New this morning, Alabama lawmakers advanced a modest income tax cut. This is one of the several tax break proposals. This comes as legislators weigh how to use a record budget surplus. The two bills collectively give $82 million in income tax cuts by a
You burden your woman issues on a little boy on the bench that just won't tell people about Jesus. You squinch that for your woman issues.
the lowest, highest tax.
It's a little boy over there won't tell people about Jesus. Shh, shh. We got woman issues up at the pulpit.
Brackets. The bill's now moved to the for the rest of the day.
Why would you even hire them?
Okay. There's a woman trying to get up there. She says she got a cross up there. Let her through.
$5.
Search for the second shooter. Jarnigan is charged with 6 counts of aggravated assault. That comes from endangering the lives of 6 people who were in the area. His bond is set at $100,000. Now, just to be clear, this has no connection to last week's drive-by shooting. Live in Knox City County, Avery Hilliard, WTBA 9 News.
Thanks, Avery. Happening up.
She ain't no miracle walking on earth. It's a woman up there. She think it's a cross she got to go pick up because Jesus wasn't working. So she got the pulpit and the little boy over there got to sit down till Monday. Then the miracle worker then put the miracle walking on earth back up there on Monday night. And she passing the mic.
Starkville police continue to look into a deadly shooting. It left one person dead, facing charges. They arrested and charged this 8. And left for checking on Miss Thunderbird. Despite her injuries, Cody says Miss Thunderbird was responsive on the scene and even talkative.
She even asked me if I'd do her one more favor, and I said, yes, Miss Ellen, what you need. Whole time she's going to be screaming for her life. She said, will you go in the house and cut off my peas? I got them boiling on the stove. I said, yeah, I sure will.
We're so glad that Miss Helen is okay and glad that Cody was there. The family says that Miss Thunderbird is getting the care she needs at a hospital in Memphis, and she is in good spirits this morning. Cody also says he's known Miss Helen all of his life and is grateful he was at the right time.
This morning, a former University of Alabama basketball player pled not guilty to a capital murder charge filed against him. This comes after investigators say he provided the gun used in the deadly shooting near campus. Court documents show Darius Miles entered the plea on Monday. Miles, a former junior reserve forward, and Michael Davis are both facing charges for capital murder in the January shooting death of Jamea Harris. The shooting happened on the Strip, a student-oriented business district of bars and restaurants near the Tuscaloosa campus. Investigators say Harris was sitting in the passenger seat of a car when someone shot her. The university removed Miles from the team following his arrest.
Investigators over in Alabama are trying to find out what led to the death of a missing Alabama woman. This is Karen Lanzis on your screen. The West Alabama woman was reported missing last month. Someone discovered her body on Monday not far from her home on Hillview Lane in Chickensville. Randy Hamlin, the district attorney, says the discovery
or prisoners, or you're already in prison.
An autopsy to find out what caused her death.
With life sentence, or you're already serving sentences of some kind. If you in this bitch doing this stupid shit.
It's a text message. Now, it's probably hard to see, but we're breaking it down for you what it says. Take a look. The message says it still needs thoughts from folks in Lafayette County, and it provides a link asking you to take a quick survey. Deputies say this is not an official Lafayette County survey, and you should not take it.
New this morning, severe weather season continues. If you were hoping to apply for an individual safe room through MEMA, you might have to wait a while. And we are still finding out more about rainfall, but
I just see y'all trying to pull this. I don't even believe Sister Ruby had no car, but I believe she got one for you.
This morning, Martin Wayans is live on GMA. One thing is for sure.
I can't tell that joke. I can't tell that joke.
Anything can happen. Plus, amazing spring deals and steals, all at least 50% off.
You drove the miracle walking on earth to shoot Caesar in his foot about that. Look, bitch, I brought you some corn first. You don't come up at my house and take my shit. No, not even at Ruby's.
The banking industry, just to support the whole economic footprint.
Ruby was not that kind of Christian.
This will allow easier access to North Mississippi Medical Center, and a railroad quiet zone will be created.
New this morning, Alabama's Governor Kay Ivey is investing over $5 million in state funding for road and bridge projects across the state. At 6:40 this morning, we're showing you a live look in Alabama. The funding comes from the annual grant program created under the Rebuild Alabama Act. This act requires the Alabama Department of Transportation to establish an annual program setting aside $10 million at the top of the state's share of new gas tax revenue for local projects. Cities and counties also contributed a total of over $2.9 million in local matching funds. Matching funds are not required to be eligible. It is anticipated that a number of projects will go under contract by the end of the year.
As you're heading out right now in Blue Springs, definitely some cloudier conditions for your morning time, but we'll continue to see these cloudy skies all day long.
Anchors Craig Ford and Tanya Carter, WTVA 9 News at 4 p.m.
The Mississippi Housing Institute provides education for all builders and remodelers across the state. If you're a builder or remodeler who is not certified, contact us about our certification program. If you are a consumer looking for a builder or remodeler to do work or build you a home, by hiring certified builders and remodelers. We have a directory of all the certified builders and remodelers, so please come see me at this Home Garden and Outdoor Expo to get one, or for more information, go to cpbms.com.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more.
I remember what it was like to be at home by myself, reading the Bible and things. Thanks, sir.
Now, the state is waiting for FEMA's decision and approving those safe room applications. If approved, a MEMA representative will contact the applicant to start the installation process. MEMA says it's not taking any more safe room applications at this time. It also says all safe rooms will need to be finished before it starts another application period.
This morning, the Mississippi Management Agency is warning you to remember what you can and cannot use your Red Cross Client Assistance prepaid cards for. The agency says that you can use the card to buy products from cigar stands, dating and escort services, massages, bedding, court costs, fines, and bail and bond payments. The agency says that these purchases are not allowed and will be declined.
New this morning, the American Red Cross Mississippi shared all of the accomplishments over the last 2 weeks after the first round of severe weather. It says it has around 400 Red Cross folks that's helped out. It gave out over 78,000 meals and snacks with the help of partners, and it helped over 1,400 people. That includes getting them financial and medical help.
Happening now, Ole Miss Athletics is holding a tornado relief drive to help storm victims.
Janet K. sacrificed her son, allegedly. There's a man in the room somewhere hiding behind a girl.
The drive is happening now, continuing until Friday at the South Oxford.
Creatures of habit.
Students gathered water, paper towels, non-perishable food items, and cleaning supplies. Dr. Miriam Garner sponsors the Anchor Club. She says she is proud to help coordinate this relief effort.
Amory in Houston likes to battle it out every now and then. Our kids have a lot of friends there. They have a lot of family there. We have kids who have moved in here from Amory, and we have kids who've moved to Amory. So, I mean, it's a close connection. It's in Northeast Mississippi, we all consider each other family.
The students say they are still taking up items. You can drop off any donations you want to make at Houston High School.
It was a successful empty bowls event for the Tupelo Salvation Army's Women's Auxiliary. This is one of the organization's largest fundraisers.
People keep saying that shit. Hospitality does not mean we treat each other like family. That is not what the fuck that means. That's a cop.
Captain Heather Dolby says the community helped the organization.
Mississippians are we are hospitable, and we have a lot of hospitals. But no, you are not our fucking family if you ain't got blood that belong to us running through you. You ain't family.
$45,000 this year, which surpassed last year's goal. Over 40 restaurants from around the All-American participated. Several organizations also helped out the Women's Auxiliary by making the bowls that you could take home. Chair of the Empty Bowls Luncheon expressed her gratitude for the businesses, organizations, and community in making this fundraiser a success.
We are so
family.
grateful
No,
for the community support with Empty Bowls. We just could not have done.
It's 100 churches. That means 25 people to each church in this motherfucker. That is not a family.
Done it with the restaurants that volunteered, the community that came in and served soup. Cadence Bank ran our bake sale. We just had so many volunteers we can't do without the volunteers.
Lisa Murphy says they are already planning on the 25th annual Empty Bowls Luncheon.
Happening now, take a good look at this person. He is right now out of Noxubee County after a recent shooting. Deputies say he's armed and dangerous. Those details are coming up in our morning rush.
Every morning, depend on
Alrighty, 6:54 is the time. Let's catch up on the stories you need to hear before you head out this Thursday morning.
But do you attribute that to your family? These bitches are sad. These bitches have timed out my ability to breathe so that they. How do you accomplish the bitch being late?
Accused of shooting at a vehicle driven by.
What are you gonna go back in time and match it up to this shit and say this is how it works? No, it don't. It don't work like this. What this triggers is my knowledge of Caesar's dollar power.
Teenagers inside. DeAndre Smith now faces 3 counts of aggravated assault.
Police in Macon say they're looking for another person involved in a recent not far from the post office.
In other words, did Caesar just spend this much money on me?
Starkville police arrested this man in connection to a deadly shooting. It happened at Court townhouses in Starkville Tuesday. The incident is under investigation.
And this man faces charges right now out of Corinth after police say he caused a family disturbance. He's facing 2 misdemeanor charges: domestic violence and family disturbance, and a felony charge for possession of a controlled substance.
At least 5 people are dead after a deadly storm system that passed through Missouri this week.
And as you're heading out for your morning time.
Hey, Caesar ran off Tabernacle. I saw Tabernacle make a brain cry. On Christmas.
Librarians say restricting information may be damaging to young minds.
When people ask why.
Ooh.
Today, tomorrow, going into the
WCBI Sunrise starts now.
This dude started quoting from The Color Purple, and everybody in Tabernacle started crying.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on Sunrise on this Thursday. I'm Eric Crosswhite. Probably going to see some more rain today, but it's looking like Easter is safe. Let's start this hour with Chief Meteorologist Isaac Williams.
When your church get emotional over quotes from a movie, you have lost the movement.
Isaac, I know a lot. Macon police arrested a man they believe was in a shootout. Tyree Jarnigan is charged with drive-by. Hey, special agents say more than 7,000 reports of sextortion like this were reported nationwide in the last year. Most of the victims are teen boys, and more than a dozen of them committed suicide.
The better that we become at investigating issues such as that, the more complex they become at finding ways to hide their identities or replicate and go through a series of IP address changes to try to hide themselves. Also, we have to identify them, locate them, go through the judicial process of getting them indicted, and then do an extradition. So that becomes a problem. But it's much easier for us through, again, avenues such as awareness and help ensure that the potential victims and family members know what's out there.
The advice from the FBI is to always report the case to them and for parents to share with their kids that no matter what, there's nothing too bad they can't overcome. We're piecing together what happened in an FBI raid early Tuesday in Louisville. It was at a house on Nearway Drive. You can see a door was detached from its hinges and propped up on video on our website.
Marsha Lawson would like to clarify that there is no genocide according to the FBI. Don't forget to pick up your check on Friday. Everything gonna be okay. If you pick up your check on Friday, then that means that the numbers prove that there is no genocide in Upora. Hooterville, Tom Nolan, and Bell Fountain, we killing everybody in 3 days.
They say this is where the raid happened, but asked us not to show where they live. It was an FBI.
Again, Marsha Lawson that says there is no threat from genocide. Everybody pick up your check on Friday.
Task force operation, and one person was taken into custody.
I believe that overrides my First Amendment right to say he a motherfucking lie.
Police directed all questions to the FBI, who released this statement. Quote, the FBI was conducting a court-authorized law enforcement activity to preserve the integrity and capabilities of the investigation. I cannot share details, as this is an ongoing investigation. However, I can reassure your viewers that there's no information to suggest a public threat to the community, end quote. That's from the FBI Public Affairs spokesperson, Marsha Lawson in Jackson, the only person authorized to speak. Stay with WCBI for updates on the investigation. For this morning, let's take grants can help pay for temporary housing. Initial rental grant is for a 1 month or 2. Renters may also qualify for FEMA assistance for uninsured essential personal property losses. Well, this includes replacing or repairing furniture, appliances, clothing, textbooks, or school supplies.
Check the pattern of Scrub live videos for alternative procedures and routes and telephone systems for Zora Rush.
Also applies to job-related equipment for people who are self-employed. And if your primary vehicle is no longer drivable because of storm damage, FEMA may be able to help. You can apply for federal assistance in 3 ways. Visit a local disaster station and others to see what the needs are and how the government can. The senator said it's a top priority to get Cooper tire workers back on the assembly lines.
But the storm damage, it took
sad. It's so unbelievable. And, right here in Tupelo, we went to Cooper Tire.
There's somebody that got to see Ernstine records, and I still have not, although I have a claim on them.
And it is
I and Jonathan Terrell Rush have a claim on the medical records that belong to Ernestine Robinson. But y'all talk about it.
totally incapacitated.
I haven't seen him. As far as I know, he hasn't seen them, and he's in prison.
So trying to work with Cooper Tire and get them back up and running, and that those people can get back to work. And they're so large, you will see a delay in the tire market because they're producing so many every day, and when that's shut down for that long, you're going to see a delay in the market.
In the old Sears space at the mall at Barnes Crossing has been made available to Cooper Tire as a training center for employees. Governor Tate Reeves signed a state of emergency for Pontotoc County, allowing cleanup efforts to kick into high gear. Preliminary assessments show about 115 structures were damaged, with 30 homes a total loss. There was one fatality in the College Hill area. As county officials are mapping out a strategy and plan for debris removal, the Ag Center is a drop-off site for donations like food and water. Captain Heather Dolby of the Tupelo Salvation Army says there's a big need for certain types of donations.
We have a lot of items for the initial emergency crisis response phase. But now the resilient folks in this area are moving on to recovery, which means they're getting everything cleaned up. They're out in their yard. They're trying to figure out how to get inside the house figured out to get back to normal. And so one of the big needs right now that might seem strange, but folks have been asking for it, are outdoor tools, rakes, lawn and garden tools, contractor trash bags, all those kinds of things.
And for more information on the cleanup effort, go to our website, wcvi.com. Volunteer agencies like the American Red Cross are in need of more people willing to give. I get that a lot too. And I think a big part why I got it here, when I first came here, we sat at chairs at the desk, and I always naturally scooted mine really high because I wanted to seem taller because I've always been a shorter guy.
Sure.
But the other anchors at the time didn't necessarily do that. So at the desk, it did make me look quite a bit taller.
Yeah.
So when I first came here and was out like at Walmart and stuff, I was getting tons of, man, you're a lot shorter than I thought.
I still get that. And, thankfully I have my green screen magic over there to sort of make me look as tall as I choose to look.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's kind of my spiel. But one person commented about their hairstyle matching their face. So,
which is a weird thing. People
it is
don't
a weird
really talk
thing.
about.
That could be not a bad thing. I could see where you could take it, be like, what did you just say?
Yeah. Yeah, so having to think it over. But if you give it some thought, it kind of makes sense. Different haircuts fit different faces better. I don't know. So over on our Facebook page, we've got more stuff coming up after this.
Known as a
Poland being trained to use German-made Leopard tanks. Spring has arrived in these parts, and with it growing anticipation of a Ukrainian offensive, new, more modern weapons than these old hulks could make all the difference. Back in the trenches, all is quiet, but as we leave, a drone appears above us. Then our ride out arrives. 30 seconds, okay. What would you like? Then artillery, no time to waste. Red Weed at CNN, Eastern Ukraine.
Later on Sunrise, appearing before a federal grand jury, what prosecutors hope the testimony of former Vice President Mike Pence will reveal about Donald Trump.
80s also for Birmingham. We'll be tapping into that cooler air across North Mississippi. So once again, then into next week, fairly quiet. But and then they got some power arms. We're gonna have to go in and face some real field at 3 o'clock, just a few hours before the Bulldog. Friends, 3 of their next 4 SEC.
When the Murrays discovered gain scent beads, they fell in love with the irresistible scent.
Overturned the 2020 election.
This is an earthquake and not a small earthquake.
Pence's testimony could offer investigators a firsthand account of whether he was pressured by Trump and what role the former president played, if any, on January 6th.
When the mobs were attacking the Capitol, trying to stop the election, what did the president tell Vice President Pence, if anything, before, during, after?
An appeals court ruled that a number of other Trump officials will also have to testify. That includes his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. The development came just one day after the 45th president pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records. It's a separate case brought by Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Our justice system has become lawless.
With the legal probes mounting, Wednesday, Trump called on congressional Republicans to defund the Department of Justice and the FBI.
I think it's a bad idea. As frustrated as he has the right to be about some things the FBI has done.
Trump, who is seeking the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, says his campaign has raised $10 million since his indictment. His lawyers say they'll mount an aggressive effort to have charges hush money probe dismissed.
Trump's next court appearance is set for December 4th. Next week, he'll speak at the National Rifle Association Convention in Indianapolis. Isaac?
Eric, it's 5:33 this morning, and we can see that cooler air continuing to slowly push its way in. Copy.
Of Jesus from the point where he enters the city of Jerusalem during the triumphal entry, does his healings, the miracle scenes. We tell all of that. And then he's arrested in the garden. And then after he's arrested, he's brought before Pilate. He's flogged. He's crucified on a cruel cross. We see his interaction with the thieves on the other 2 crosses. And then after his burial, resurrected gloriously again. And then we tell the story of his ascension, his glorification in heaven. So we see that whole story of Jesus, the life of Jesus once he enters Jerusalem. This year, we're going to tell the story with a brand new script from the perspective of Nicodemus. Now, Nicodemus is the character in Scripture that came to Jesus with questions. Nicodemus was a high priest in the temple, and he asked Jesus, how must a man be born again? Must he enter his mother's womb a second time? And Jesus tells him, no, it's about a spiritual rebirth. And so the whole story is told through the eyes of Nicodemus, and we see his wrestling with his relationship and with Jesus and his position in the temple and that juxtaposition, and he's wrestling with those 2 worlds. And we see him come to faith in Christ. He accepts the Messiah that he's been hearing so much about. So it's really exciting. Great new musical score, great new script. We'll have over 300 people involved in the production this year, live animals, outside and inside.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. Everybody's done a great job getting
major production. And
Oh, yeah.
a really deep story too. And I love that because there are so many different aspects of the big picture story there
Right.
to take from. And you go every year and choose a different way to tell it and still stick with that main.
That's right. So for those who are contemplating whether or not to come, I would strongly encourage them to come because it's going to be brand new. Nothing they've ever seen before. In fact, this script was written specifically for Fairview this year. It's a brand new script that's just been written for us, and we're so thankful for that.
Yeah, that's exciting. 300 people, you said. Do you hold auditions? How does that work?
No, it's Fairview has a great volunteer base.
Okay.
Everybody in the choir, the orchestra, the technical team, they're all volunteers, members of Fairview Baptist Church. It's really incredible that we're still able to do this. When a lot of churches have gone away from doing production ministry, Fairview still has a very strong production ministry.
It takes a lot.
Yes, it does.
How long do you work on this before it actually gets to the big day?
Well, we start working on the musical score probably back in the fall.
Okay.
And then we introduce that to the choir in January. We start casting all the parts. So we've been working on this for several months to get ready for Easter weekend.
And you're a worship minister, but which is harder, do you feel like, the music aspect of it or the drama part?
Well, probably, one of my great blessings is that I have a great crew around me. This is so much bigger than one person. I mean, our leadership team has about 25 people on it. All have different jobs to do, from props to directing the drama to scenes to everything, the animals, It's a big crew, and it's a great group of folks. They love the Lord, they love living pictures, and they love telling the story every year.
It sounds like a lot of fun too. When is it going to be that people can come watch and check that out?
So it's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have some different times. So Friday night is at 6:30.
Okay.
And then Saturday and Sunday are both at 5. And the doors will open about 30 minutes before the start time.
And of course, it's free to the public. Anybody can come and check it out.
Yes,
You need to be a member of the church.
That's correct. Yeah, it's free, open to the public. It's a family-friendly event. So we want the whole family to come out and enjoy Living Pictures this year.
It's going to be a really good show. I can feel it. Ken, anything else that you'd like to say about it?
Well, we do this not for our own glorification, but we do this to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ. And we want to help enhance the Easter celebration for our community. So we hope everybody will come and enjoy it.
We appreciate you coming and talking with us this morning.
Thank you, Eric.
We'll be right back.
Praise white God.
For a nicer Easter Sunday. Between now and Sunday, unfortunately, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of sunshine. Easter, though, will bring the sun back and keep it with us into the first days of next week. Eric?
Thanks, Isaac. Our final update in a murder trial in Clay County. The jury took only an hour to reach a verdict. They found Octavius Collins guilty of second-degree murder. He shot 43-year-old James Robertson on Thanksgiving 2020 at Wendale Apartments in West Point. The trial lasted a little over a day. Judge Jay Howard sentenced Collins to 40 years in prison with 10 suspended and 5 years post-release supervision. The court date for a Columbus businessman accused of holding someone at gunpoint is postponed. Adel Musa, better known as Mr. John, was scheduled to appear in Columbus Municipal Court today for a charge of simple assault. Musa reportedly held someone at gunpoint who he believed was stealing from his business. Columbus officers couldn't determine if the person in question was the actual thief, so they let him go and arrested Musa. A new hearing date hasn't been scheduled, but it will most likely be in May. The revolving door at the Columbus Police Department continues to turn. City Council swore in 2 new CPD officers and 4 new recruits are headed to the Law Enforcement Academy. The council also accepted the resignation of 3 officers and 1 investigator. Mayor Keith Gaskin said he hopes to continue to see the numbers at the department improve. The time now is 5:49. After the break, more of your responses to our sunrise question. Don't go anywhere.
We do FaceTime every Thursday night so the dogs can see each other.
The whining, the howling. Their reunions are joyous, and their owners are also best friends. They say there's a chance they'll all move back under the same roof, but until then...
That's your buddy, isn't it? Yeah, that's your buddy.
During our remote interview, it was more sound than sight that set them off. He began looking for her, headed for the window. Rollo and Sadie are the Romeo and Juliet of dogs. For never was a story of more woe than this of Sadie and her Rollo. Parting may be such sweet sorrow, but reunions are all. Chinimos, CNN, New York.
Some cute dogs. I just have no idea how they got them to sit there in front of the camera. Like, to take a picture or a selfie with a dog, like trying to get them to look at the camera is extremely hard, at least in my experience.
Yeah, so the weenie dog, she is very photogenic, and she does know exactly when the camera is pointing at her.
No way.
Yes, but if I'm FaceTiming, all bets are off because she hears whomever's trying to talk to her, and she will not sit still, and she just goes crazy.
Like she's thinking maybe they're there with her.
Right. So that is what I deal with. But again, if there's no FaceTime, there's no audio, and she's just sitting there, like she will literally just sit right there and look at when I get my phone out and take the picture.
I've never seen a dog do that.
Well, I wish she would sit still because there's some, other TV colleagues I've met in other cities that have met her, and before I moved back here. But if I FaceTime them, no dice.
Does she get along with other dogs? Like if you had this kind of situation where she maybe heard another dog
she
through
likes
FaceTime?
to play a lot.
Okay.
She's aggressive, and she walked right up to a Great Dane once, and I'm like, this great, like she doesn't even as long as she is. She couldn't even jump up to like the chest of the Great Dane. So,
didn't bother her. No.
Not at all. It was unfazed.
I love it. Let's get to that sunrise question of the day. We got it posted over on our Facebook page. This morning we're asking, what's the strangest compliment you've ever received?
Also notice, this is just for a grammar thing real quick. Compliment is spelled with an I because compliment the other way around is like, it's like something, compliment something else. Like that tie compliments your jacket.
Really?
With an E.
I didn't know that. So is it right in there?
Yes, of course.
Thank goodness, because I put it
even though I didn't, you put that in there. So very good.
Yeah.
You inadvertently
got it right.
But the Facebook one that I posted is correct. Anyway, y'all know I love my grammar around here. So.
Exactly. It's important.
Yes.
It's an important thing.
Okay.
I'm not always on it.
Yes. Well, with all that aside, let's go on to some new ones here. Kimberly, you look like your mom is pretty. Now, that might be my new favorite over the minister.
Yeah, that's a roundabout way to say someone's attractive. That's a good one. Annie, I haven't seen you in a while, girl. I just met her 2 days before.
Oh dear. Different. A little bit. Katrina says, if I wasn't married, you would be my wife.
Now that sounds in the midst.
Indeed.
Just saying, beware of that. Katrina.
Indeed.
Jerome, you look cute, pregnant. How old are you? My answer is I'm 50 and
oh my God.
That's just a good lesson. And you've got to be absolutely sure.
Yeah.
If you're talking about pregnancy or something like that, let them bring it up first.
Right. Let's just say, I'm due such and such date. Let's just please.
Yeah, let them share the joy.
Your mama raised you better than that. I know they did. Exactly. Margaret says, I liked my compliment. You are the most unpretentious person.
Okay, that works. Kimberly, I was shopping for home decor, and the lady came up to me, looked in my cart, and said, you have great taste. May I have that? And that would look great in my room. And out and walked away. And I just stared and said, thank you.
Well, I guess that she hadn't bought it yet. She wasn't stealing it per se.
Yeah, she wasn't technically scammed, although that is basically how a scam artist would work.
Absolutely.
You throw a compliment out there and then you take what you want.
Right.
But you're right, they would still have to pay for it.
Exactly. But again, that's a very strange. This is a great question.
It is.
You and I would both have that same look if I think that happened if they sold the stuff out of our.
Yeah, I would be shocked. This is a thought-provoking question.
It is.
And back to the one about your mom.
Yeah.
Looks like she's pretty. When I was young, the female friends I had just loved to bring up how good looking my dad was, like constantly. Never told
Looked
me.
right over you.
Yeah, just looked right to my dad. Hated it. It's over on our page. We've got more sunrise coming up.
Serious best and play. You earned a double burger with tons of melted cheese.